Dairy Systems Management: How to Organize and Manage a Modern Large Dairy Farm for Maximum Profit. A complete step-by-step guide to writing SOPs and protocols, setting goals, developing objectives, and monitoring performance. By Adam Peffer. Dairy Systems Management helps you define who, what, when, where, why, and how for all aspects of your dairy farm. Then you will notice a dramatic difference in production, employee morale, efficiency, employee input, teamwork, and professionalism, which will lead to increased profitability, increased efficiency, increased employee retention, and a dairy farm that is easier to manage. The use of the Dairy Systems Management Program leads to consistent and continuous improvement. The Dairy Systems Management Program will make your dairy farm management easier by defining who, what, when, where, why, and how your dairy farm operates. We will achieve this by designing and implementing the following 3 things. 1. An organizational chart. 2. SOPs and protocols. 3. Objectives and goals. Why use Dairy Systems Management? On many dairy farms, there usually is no system of how things are done, just our way of doing things. And our way is most often not written down, but all in the head of the owner or manager. The larger the dairy farm and the more people involved, there is a greater chance that there are some written procedures, instructions, forms, or records. To be efficient and effective, the dairy farm needs to manage its way of doing things by systemizing them. This ensures that nothing important is left out and that everyone is clear about who is responsible for doing what, when, where, why, and how. This helps assure that everyone is not just doing his or her own thing, and that the dairy farm goes about its business in an orderly, structured, and systemized way. And that time, money, and other resources are utilized efficiently. Large, successful businesses could not function without some form of systems. Systems management provides a company with a framework for organization and consistency to its many processes. Companies in such fields as aerospace, automobiles, military, healthcare, and restaurants have been operating systems management for years. Many of the top dairy farms are already using systems management to organize their farm, increase efficiency, decrease costs, manage labor, and increase production. Getting started. Getting started is always the hard part, but once you get past this part, you are well on your way to a much more organized and profitable dairy farm. Many dairy farms never get past this first phase. Why? Because in reality, it is not as easy of a task as it seems. Think of it this way. If asked to write a book about your life and in a week or 2, take it to the publishers for print, would you be able to sit down and write a book about yourself? In theory, it sounds easy. You know your life by heart. You know it better than anyone else. However, sit down and actually try to do it. Putting what's in your head onto paper is harder than it seems. The Dairy Systems Management Guidebook is an instruction book that takes you step by step in incorporating a management system on your farm. Putting what's in your head onto paper. This includes organizing your dairy farm, writing goals and objectives, developing SOPs and protocols, and monitoring performance. It is well known that all successful dairy farms and businesses operate using some sort of systems management. To be able to successfully perform at the top level, you also need to incorporate a systems management program. Begin the planning. Step 1. Review the guidebook and templates. This will help you get a feel for what you are going to do and show you examples of the different ways you can create them. By using the examples and templates, you can easily modify them to fit your farm. Step 2. Read the management articles. Step 3. Define whether you will be creating a new system or defining your current system. A new system would be for a new startup project. A current system would be for a dairy farm that is already operating. Step 4. Write down on a piece of paper who you need involved, See key personnel. Step 5. Plan a meeting with your key personnel. Note, if you will be creating a new system of work for a startup, you can use the examples as protocols and modify them if necessary as you get a better understanding of how your operation works. If you are already milking cows, you already have a system for how things are done. It's just that most or all of it is probably in your head. You can use the templates and examples as a guide and modify them, putting your current system in a written, organized form. Note, it is very important to involve your key players or employees, such as the herdsman, veterinarian, and any other supervisors or outside specialists. This helps you, the owner or manager, in several ways. 1. Gives you a great opportunity to delegate tasks to the employees who are responsible for each particular department. 2. Builds teamwork. Everyone is involved and working towards the same goal. 3. Employees are much more likely to supervise and enforce something that they helped develop. 4. Gives great input from the people who are actually supervising, working in, and understand the current process and facility limitations. Key personnel. Key positions. If you have employees on your dairy farm, you have key personnel. Although every employee is important and plays a role in the daily operation and success of your farm, there are a few key or important employees that you, as a manager, rely on. However, instead of thinking in terms of key personnel, we need to think in terms of key positions first, and then relate the personnel or employee to the position. We will discuss this in the next chapter in more detail when creating our organizational chart. Who are my key personnel? In Figure 1, we see an organizational diagram. The key positions in this diagram are managers A, B, C, and D. The employees assigned to this position are your key personnel. They are the managers of the many departments or processes on your dairy farm. Other key personnel involved in your dairy farm may be veterinarian, nutritionists, consultants, extension agent, university specialists, etc. Management meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to introduce your team to the Dairy Systems Management Program and the importance of doing work as a system, as well as creating an organizational chart and starting working on goals and objectives. Example of a meeting agenda. Meeting objective. Explain the purpose and goals of implementing dairy systems management. Give an overview of dairy systems management. Discuss the importance of developing a system of work. Explain the need for input from all departments. As a team, define your dairy's organization chart. See Step 1, define organization structure of your dairy. Assign managers or department supervisors objective and goals tasks. See Step 2, objectives and goals. Management tip. Bring a list of all employees on payroll, including yourself, to the meeting. Note, when doing the organization chart, have a flip chart or whiteboard to use for drawing your first draft. Key points. Getting started. Review the guidebook and examples. Read the management articles. Decide whether you will be creating a new system or defining your current system. Write down who you need involved. Involve your key personnel. Plan a meeting with key personnel.